Okay, in this video, we want to solve the following initial value problem using the Laplace transform. And the way we're going to solve it is one method of using the Laplace transform. So we have y double prime plus 3y prime plus 2y is equal to 0, where y parentheses 0 is equal to 1 and y prime 0 is equal to 0. And the method I'm about to go over is actually a nice trick. You probably won't see it in your classroom. And so let's get started. And so the first step, typically we would say this would be r squared plus 3r plus 2 is equal to 0. But instead we say s squared plus 3s plus 2. And this will be in the denominator. And in the numerator, the first term, s plus 3, we're getting that we ignore this plus 2 and we focus on this and we simply divide by s. So s squared plus 3s, we divide the whole thing by s and we would get s plus 3. The 1, we get the 1 by this. Y parentheses 0 is equal to 1. This is the one this is this one. So simply this one right here. Plus this one right here comes from we get s plus 3, we ignore the 3, and we divide by s. Similarly, what we did here where we divide everything by s except the 2. We get this s, and we divide by s, and we get 1. And the 0 right here comes from y prime 0 is equal to 0. This 0 right here. Plus 0 comes from here. Since it's a homogeneous equation, it's going to be plus 0. But if it was a non-homogeneous equation, we would have some sort of number right here. And so we multiply everything, and this 1 times 0 is 0. So we would have s plus 3 divided by s squared plus 3s plus 2. And we want to use a Laplace transform. And so we need to make this something related to this. So what we're going to do here is break down s plus 3 divided by s squared plus 3s plus 2. And so if we say s plus 3 divided by, we can factor this out, and we would get s plus 2 times s plus 1 is equal to a divided by s plus 2 plus b divided by s plus 1. A divided by s plus 2 comes from here. B divided by s plus 1 comes from here. And so now it's in this form where we have s minus a, where instead of saying plus 2, we can say minus parentheses minus 2. And so it's going to be in this form. And so what we want to do here is get the value of a and b. And so if we multiply everything by s plus 2 times s plus 1, we would get s plus 3 is equal to a times s plus 1 plus b times s plus 2. And if we said that s is negative 1 or s is negative 2, we can get a and b. And so if s is negative 1, we would get negative 1 plus 3, so that would be 2, is equal to a times negative 1 plus 1 is 0, so we ignore it, plus b. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1, so b times 1, and therefore b is equal to 2. Next we do a. We say s is negative 2, so we would get negative 2 plus 3, so 1, is equal to a parentheses minus 2 plus 1, so minus 1, and this would become 0. So a would equal negative 1. And so it's going to be, so a is going to be negative 1 and b is going to be 2. And so having it in this form now, we can use this. So our final answer will be negative e raised to negative 2t, because 1 divided by s plus 2 is equivalent to 1 divided by s minus parentheses minus 2. So that means a is negative 2. So a is negative 2. And we have a negative 1 in the front because of this. So y parentheses t is equal to negative e raised to negative 2t plus 2 times e raised to negative t. And this right here is our final answer. And that's all we need to do.